For the first time ever, semifinals of a college football playoff here in Los Angeles, the Rose Bowl, Florida State, and Oregon, along with Bryant McFadden. I'm Jeff Fischel. You know the Seminoles defense as well as anyone. Let's talk about the number one problem for the Noles. He's the number one player in all of college football, Marcus Mariota. What do you do to stop the Heisman Trophy winner?
Well, hopefully he doesn't show up to the stadium. But honestly, it's going to be a very, very difficult task. Few teams have had a lot of success against Marcus, and I think for Florida State, their biggest issue throughout the course of the season, when they're playing against mobile quarterbacks, you talk about Everett Golson at Notre Dame, Jacoby Brissett at NC State, they consistently lost contain. And if you lose containment, we used to say all the time in Pittsburgh, lose contain, you lose the game. And that is an honest, true statement, especially when you're playing against a mobile quarterback like Marcus. He's so athletic. He's so fast. But if you can force him to make intermediate throws inside the pocket, I think that is something he's not comfortable doing. That's where you can have success against Marcus.
I totally agree. I mean, this is the big problem for the Noles, right? They can have a game plan, but he's incredibly accurate. 101 touchdowns, just 12 interceptions in his career at Oregon. And he says flat out, part of his job is to avoid making mistakes, and he does a really good job of it.
Yeah, and when you're playing against these quarterbacks like this that you see rarely on the collegiate level, you got it becomes a chess matchup. Being under Mickey Andrews at Florida State, defensive coordinator, Dick LeBeau at Pittsburgh, whenever we played against some of these quote-unquote big-time players at the quarterback position, we want to disguise coverages. Because if you line up in a vanilla defense, Marcus is going to have a field day. Most quarterbacks are going to have a field day. Most quarterbacks collegiately know where the weak points are in a cover 3 and a cover 2. That's where the disguise concept comes into play. And I think when you're playing against Oregon, even though they have an up break, fast break type offense, yet still make him see something that isn't there. And that's where he's throwing the ball where he thought an open man is, but actually that's where coverage is.
All right, put your Noles uniform back on. You're Darby, you're Williams, you're Hunter, you're Jalen Ramsey. What are you thinking about when you're out at secondary trying to slow down Marcus Mariota?
Oh, you got to be disciplined. You have to be disciplined playing against this offense, because one thing about Oregon offense, something that I love, but hopefully I won't love this upcoming Thursday, is their play action. Because when they're running the ball effectively, that opens the window for them to have splash plays down the football field. When I say splash plays, I'm talking about a huge chunk of yardage. And when you're thinking about from our secondary standpoint with Florida State, these guys got to be disciplined. And when the run breaks containment, if it does, then that's when you come up and run support. But your job first and foremost is to cover. Make sure you do that.
But I will say, if there's any team that can do it, it is Florida State, arguably the best secondary in college football.
Oh, no question. We got quite a few guys, I believe, and a lot of the NFL experts believe will be playing on Sunday. And this is where these guys got to step up and answer the call. Because if these guys want to play on Sunday, these are the type of ball games that they got to take advantage of. Because on Sunday, there's no easy way out. There's no watered-down opponent. Even though the records may show it, there's no watered-down opponent. So I expect for Darby, Ramsey, PJ, all these guys that have outstanding, huge days for Florida State. And if they do, they'll come out on top.
Marcus Mariota, exactly two interceptions this entire season. But B-Mac, he has the answer for his Noles.
I hope I do. I hope I do.
You can find Bryant McFadden on 120 Sports. He's also joining us here this week at the Rose Bowl. He's B-Mac. I'm Jeff Fischel. You're watching the ACC Digital Network, brought to you by Ruby Tuesday.